Good job. I will tell you that right now. And I'm in Houston, Texas. So obviously, as you just said, ground zero. I hadn't thought of it like that, but it is ground zero. So people are going to watch us talking right now, and people that were impacted by this incident, people that had family that worked on this. I actually have a friend that was part of the team that left before the explosion. What do you say to people that are going to go see this film? What do you tell them, those people that are in Houston?
Well, I mean, I think I don't tell them anything because
Well,
I don't have the opportunity to talk to them before. But I will say that, you know, one of the things that I've said to the family members who lost loved ones that day, 11 men were killed. You know, so one of the things that really hit me hard was when I met with these family members, I realized that they had suffered two real brutal injuries. One was obviously the loss of their loved one, but the second was this opinion out there in the world, particularly outside of the communities like Houston or New Orleans, where people really understand what happened. But you go out into the country and you say, oh yeah, we're doing a film about some guys that were killed on Deepwater Horizon. And I've heard many times people say, oh, well, weren't those the guys that caused that oil spill? Yeah, okay, well, they died, but they caused the oil spill. That is so not true. And when I realized that these families had to deal with that people thought not only that their loved one worked on the rig, their loved one maybe had something to do with the spill, it's just wrong. And when I found out that these 11 men, the more I understood that, they could have gotten off that rig. They could have run the first time, sign of trouble, gotten lifeboats and been out. They stayed. They stayed in the mud rooms. They stayed in the driller shack. Delbert King went up and tried to prevent his crane from taking out the derrick. I mean, it couldn't be a more selfless act. This is a film that is not about an oil spill. It's not about an environmental disaster. It's not even really about attacking BP, although we do lay the facts out. It's about showing what kind of people work on these rigs and what kind of incredible pieces of science and engineering these rigs are.
What kind of research did you have to do? How long did it take to get through all the testimony, I would imagine?
No, forever. I mean, we spent, starting with reading the transcripts, watching the different hearings. There were two different hearings, Senate hearing and a Coast Guard hearing. Sitting down with different members of the drilling community would, take us through drill school until we had a, solid understanding, as solid as you reasonably can, without really being in the business, because it's a very complex business. But we had a good, solid understanding of how these rigs worked and how we, were able to sort of take all of this information and kind of figure out how we wanted to present the events that led up to that blowout.
Tell me about the explosion scene and actually filming that as a director. Just describe to me, it probably wasn't just one day, or was it?
So I don't like to talk about how we do it.
Okay, well, you don't have to tell me. Just tell me. Okay, you don't have to tell me how you did it. Tell me about the emotional part of that.
I mean, my feeling is.
Tell me all your secrets.
Well, I think it's a mistake for everyone to know how we do movies, just because. It's like asking some magician how he does his magic tricks. But I will say that explosions are awesome and they look great and they're big, and the danger with explosions is that when you're making a movie is you can get so caught up in the size of the explosion that you forget that there better be some kind of human component to it. And if we don't care about the people in our movie, an explosion's not gonna be a real game changer for us. So I try to focus as much on the story and the people as I do the explosions.